Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. On this show, we prepare an easy, delicious, and healthy recipe straight out of my monthly Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. That's right here. This is a downloadable cookbook, you guys, and it's really fun. It's going to give you a month of recipes, a grocery list, and these recipes are going to get you throughout the week. It's going to give you breakfast, lunch, dinner, sweets, snacks, and staples. And today, we are going to be making a really delicious and festive lunch recipe. This is easy. It's really simple to put together, and it's full of flavor and protein, something that I know that you're probably in need of right now, right? I don't know about you, but the holidays are around the corner. Thanksgiving is in a few days, and I am busy. I have a lot of prep going on. I'm making a pumpkin pie. I'm making some other things. I'm making an impossible meatloaf. And on a day like now, I just need something that's quick and easy for lunch. And so we are going to make cranberry walnut salad sando, one of my absolute favorite sandwiches. This is really sweet and savory and crunchy and nourishing sandwich. It's full of protein, like I said. We're going to use chickpeas as the base. So let's get started. And if you have questions along the way, go ahead and pop the questions in the comment box. I can see who's here. And I'd love to know where you're watching from. So type your name, where you're watching from in the comment box, and let's chat. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to begin, but before I actually start the recipe, I have a special guest online with me today. I'm really excited, you guys, because for the last hour and a half, I had an interview for the I Am a Creator series for ConvertKit. ConvertKit's one of the amazing spaces that we're utilizing for our newsletter and to sell all of our cookbooks. And it's an amazing platform for creators. If you've never heard of it, check it out. So I want to introduce from the ConvertKit team, Isa, who's going to be joining us for the stream. So Isa, I'm going to add you now. Hello, good to see you. Good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I woke up this morning and did not know I was going to be on a cooking show, and here we are.
Here we are. Thanks for being so willing to just come on the fly like this. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I am as inspired by Daniela as you all are, and we're so inspired by your community that you have here. And I added to my interview cooking questions. So I'm excited to be a part of this because I need some new lunch ideas, by the way. I've been kind of eating the same thing over and over, and I'm getting bored. So I'm excited to see this.
Yay, good. Okay, well, we don't want you to be in the lunch rut, so I'm glad that you need some good ideas. This one is going to be great. I think you guys are going to make this one probably a few times because it's so easy. We're going to start actually by making a sauce, and then we're going to make the sandwich filling, all right? So, and Isa, if you have any questions along the way, you let me know, and let's get into it. I want to say hello to who's here. I want to say hello to Natalie, to Karen, to Cheryl, and to Diane. Ladies, it's good to have you as always. Now I'm going to bring in the cutting board here, and let's make the dressing, all right? This is the sauce or the dressing, and this is what is going to make your cranberry salad sando. So simple. So you can make this and you modify it for any of your eating or dietary restrictions or ways of eating. I like to give that a new name. I don't want to call it a dietary restriction. I want to say eat ways of eating. If you are whole food plant-based, one of the best ways to do this recipe is to actually make it the way that it's written in the cookbook. It actually calls for tahini. Now, if you're not familiar with tahini, let me show you. Here it is. This is organic tahini. This comes from Trader Joe's. And I absolutely love using tahini because it's sesame seed paste. It is full of protein. So I just want to tell you, in 2 tablespoons here, we're going to get 8 grams of protein. That's a lot. So this is a brand new jar. And what I need to do is, you can see there's like a layer of oil. And you can see there is like a layer of the sesame seed paste on the bottom. You need to mix it up. So hi, Lauren. Hi, Sydney. All right. So I'm going to mix it up by actually like taking a spoon and I want to mix in the oil with the sesame seed paste. And you just have to do this one time, and then it will really kind of stay mixed together. And you guys, I get this from Trader Joe's, but you can also get this from Thrive Market, which you know that I love. Thrive Market actually has the tahini in a packet. And I think I have one that I want to show you. They usually comes in a jar or a packet, and it's really good. But either way, you really need to mix it up. So if it's in a packet, you have to kind of like, squish it together. Do you guys use tahini paste at home, Isa? Is this something that you're familiar with?
I have never used tahini. I was just watching you to watch your technique. I've mixed oil and peanut butter before, and I was trying to see how you do it to make that easier. But tahini, that looks good. That looks really good. I'm definitely
So this is
try
what
some.
you would use if you are kind of whole food plant-based, like I said. It's just like really full of protein. But if you are not whole food plant-based and you want it more traditional, Issa, you can use mayo, okay? But make sure it's plant-based or vegan mayo. And I'm going to use about 1/3 of a cup. And I'm just going to try to do half the recipe from how it's written here. And then to this, I'm going to add a little bit of acid. In my case, I'm going to use vinegar. You can use champagne vinegar, which I absolutely love. You guys, this is available on my Amazon page, all of the Napa Valley Naturals, which I absolutely love. I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of the champagne vinegar. Remember, I'm doing half. And you can use apple cider vinegar or champagne vinegar. It doesn't matter. You just want something that has a really nice, bold vinegar flavor. Now I need a little bit of water as well. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon of cold filtered water. And then something sweet because I want to balance out the flavor. So I'm going to use a little maple syrup, which is really, really yummy. This is USDA organic. It also has the amazing certified organic global certification, 1 tablespoon, in my case, half. And let's do a comment. This comes from Natalie. She says, we use tahini multiple times a week. It's a staple in my home. Yes, lady. I love hearing that. I love hearing that because it's really a superfood too. The sesame seeds are absolutely a superfood and really, really good for us, not just because of the protein, but because of the micronutrients within, so minerals and vitamins. And you can see now this sauce only takes like a second to mix up. It's nice and thick. I'm going to thin it out just a little bit more with maybe 1 more tablespoon of water. Add as much water as you need just to make it the consistency that you want.
Daniela, for anyone like myself who maybe is going to try tahini for the first time, what does it kind of taste like? Does it have, you mentioned sesame seeds, does it have like a nut butter taste or what is it like?
Yeah, it's really kind of creamy and nut buttery. It's got a pretty neutral flavor in terms of the nuttiness, but it has a nuttiness. So it doesn't taste like walnuts or hazelnuts that have like a really robust specific flavor. This one is more neutral and it's really creamy and delicious. All right, I'm going to place this aside and I think my computer is definitely going to die. So I'm going to need my my power cord. I'm sorry. We're going to grab that. Hold, please. All right. Well, you guys stay with me because I'm going to do the rest of it. We're going to do the sandwich now, or the actual filling. So the base for this, we actually need to use chickpeas. So these are drained and rinsed. Here's a little quick tip for Issa and for anyone that's on the line, like Vincent or Lauren or Charisse. Sorry, guys, garage door. You just have to do it. You just have to know that I'm in the garage. Quick tip for you guys. If you drain and rinse your canned beans, you can remove 1/3 of the sodium. Now that's a lot. So we're going to use these chickpeas here. And what I'm going to do is place them in a larger bowl. I take 1 to 2 cans, drain and rinse, plop them in. All right. So maybe there's a little residual water, but that's okay. And then to this, I'm going to add some celery. So I love celery. Celery is beautiful. If you use celery, look how gorgeous it is. Use the organic kind. This is going to give you a nice green color. Do you see how bright it is? And I want about 1 cup. And I love to use only organic celery because it's really important to eat organic. I often talk about this on the show. The produce that you want to eat organic versus the produce that you actually can use conventional. Celery is actually one of the produce items that you must eat organic, okay? Now, this happens to be featured on the Dirty Dozen list. That is the Environmental Working Group list that publishes an amazing Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 produce list every single year. And what it is it's a list of all of the produce that is produced here in the United States, and they clean it, and then they actually test it for herbicides and pesticides. And what they find is that once it's ready to eat, some produce is actually pesticide-ridden even after it's been cleaned. So when they say cleaned and ready, it means it's already been washed. If it's an avocado, it's been peeled. If it's a potato, it's been peeled, things like that. And the celery, conventional celery, is always on the Dirty Dozen list. It's one of the most pesticide-ridden foods. So you really want to make sure it is organic that you're buying, okay? So I'm just going to use about 1 cup of the celery, and I just run my knife down it like this. Simple. And then give this just a thin, thin chop or diced piece. Really kind of thin and easy. You don't want them to be really thick, big, thick pieces. Kind of want it to like melt away with everything else. So I'm going to use about 1/2 cup. Throw that in. Okay, here's the fun part. Now, here's where we're going to really get festive and make this super duper yummy and kind of different than regular no tuna, right? That's what this is, kind of like faux tuna. We're going to add some cranberries, which I absolutely love, and some walnuts. These are California walnuts and California cranberries. I'm going to put half a cup of each on my cutting board, and then I'm going to chop them in bits. So
and are these just dried sweetened or unsweetened cranberries?
Yep, these are dried and they're sweetened. It's actually really, really hard to find unsweetened cranberries. They don't usually exist in market. I have a bag that's available on my Amazon page if you need unsweetened or if you're looking for something that's unsweetened. But generally, they are sweetened because cranberries are super tart, right? They come from a bog. They're very, very tart. And they sit in this like bog water and they kind of are naturally a very kind of acidic cranberry. Most people wouldn't even know what to do if they put an unsweetened cranberry in their mouth because it's super tangy. So we're going to use sweetened, and it just slightly sweetens, usually with a little bit of orange juice, actually. Sometimes they use cane sugar. So it depends on the one that you buy. And I'll show you the bag that I use. I use the dried cranberries from Trader Joe's. It's the plain ones. They have ones that are orange flavored. And this is sweetened with cane sugar. Organic. And then here's the raw California walnut halves and pieces that I really love. And I recommend get the walnut halves and pieces. Don't get the dusted pieces, the pieces that are just like already pre-chopped. They tend to not, I don't know, they're not as good. They're not as like soft and delicious. Okay, so that's in, looks beautiful already, right? We've got the green, we've got the red, we've got the walnut, like brown. Hi, Mary. Hi, Sisette. All right, I'm going to show you, I think we have a question. All right, Mary says, okay, comment. Been fighting COVID with your help since mid-October. Wow, Mary, I had no idea. Bless you. Regaining strength and looking forward to December's menu. I'm so glad that you shared. You are in my prayers. You're in the prayers of our community. Thank you. We're holding you. And you know what? I think this plant-powered food is going to really help you. Obviously, you know that it already has. So keep going, lady. Really. All right. So the next ingredient, I love showing you my vase of fresh cut herbs and things like that. And I want to show you that I have cilantro in here. I have chives and I have scallions. Now you can use either scallions or chives for this. I think I'm going to do a combo because I have some. Why not? Use a few scallions and a few chives. I want to make sure that these are washed, which they are. And I just want a little bit of this onion kind of deliciousness. So I'm going to take the ends of the scallions off. And I'm going to go, actually, these are gorgeous. Look, you can see they're beautiful white on the base and then beautiful, really kind of firm, crunchy tops. I'm just going to give these a quick chop.
Are scallions and green onions like this typically kind of interchangeable in recipes, or how do you kind of make those decisions?
Yeah, green scallion and green onion are the same, just they go by different names depending on who grew them and how they're marketed, but they are the same. And you can use the green part and the white part in any recipe. So that is interchangeable. Some people think that you only should use the green part for garnishing and the white part for cooking. I don't subscribe to that. I say use all parts of all vegetables because they're great. So it's totally up to you. And depending on how much you like onion, you can use a lot or a little. I'm just going to use just over 1/4 of a cup because I really kind of like that onion quality. And then the chives, these are really easy. You can either dice them, but I don't like to dice chives because, when you dice them, have you ever noticed they kind of like fly everywhere? So here's a better trick. Take your kitchen shears. These are just for my kitchen. And I want you to grab your bowl and I want you to just, literally clip, just snip in.
I love
bits.
that. I need to start using my kitchen scissors like this. I never do.
Yeah, right? Easy. All right. And that's it. Now I'm just going to add a little S&P, a little salt and pepper right here. And the salt in particular is going to make this kind of easier to mash. It's going to release some of the natural water from the garbanzo beans. So I'm adding just a little pepper. I'm going to add some salt. And I'm using sea salt. Do you have a favorite salt, Issa? What do you use at home?
I got really into kosher salt and kind of use that for everything lately. But I've had some recipes that actually call for sea salt and have been still like lost trying to find like the sea salt that really speaks to me. So I'm curious if you have any recommendations.
Yeah, I think I was miffed too with sea salt before because I was a kosher salt gal myself, like for years before. And now that I've switched, I thought, oh, I couldn't switch until I found the right one. I'm so right there with you. That's my own story. And then I realized sea salt is sea salt. Like whatever brand I purchase, and I've had a couple different that I really do like. It's kind of always the same. And so I buy as raw a sea salt as I can find, and you know that it's nice and raw when it's kind of sticky like this. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to show you up in the camera. Do you see kind of it stays like my fingerprints stay in it? It's sticky. It's almost wet. Like that's the sea salt that I really like. And so this is going to be like the no-name brand of sea salt for whatever it's worth. I don't know why, but it's the no-name brand of sea salt that usually is the best. But you're looking for that like wet-ish kind of like wet sand looking sea salt. That tends to be the most flavorful, tends to be the best to work with. So that is a kind of a good way to look for your next container of salt. Sea salt is good. And you can use anything, gray salt, pink salt, all of them are different variations of sea salt. So whatever suits your palate.
Okay, they are. I've used Himalayan salt in recipes because I was like, I hope this is close. But
totally.
I'd like to try that wet sea salt. I have been looking for that. So I'm going to try it. I got to find it.
Yeah, you can check on my Amazon shop too. You guys, I have one that I really like there. And
how do we find that again?
Sure, we'll put the link right here. It's amazon.com/shops/my name, Chef Daniela Moftano. And it's really fun. I have ingredients as well as all of my kitchen equipment, as well as my prep equipment, as well as some home goods and some feel good things like books that I absolutely love, some clothes, some jewelry. So check that out. You guys, it's a great time to buy gifts right now for the holidays.
I really love that you do that because the first time I really started falling in love with cooking a couple of years ago was when a chef who was teaching finally like shared the exact stuff they were using and the exact ingredients. And it was the first time my stuff actually came out really good. Because I was like, oh, now I understand, because like ingredients do matter a lot. And sometimes brands really make a big difference too. And it gave me a lot of confidence.
Yep. I'm so glad to hear that. It really does make a difference when we, use what the pros use or use what people recommend that actually work. It can take your recipe from good to great. That's what I really, really see.
Same.
All right, we have a comment here, and this is coming from Mary. Homemade nut milks have been so amazingly helpful, she says. Thanks for introducing me to her newest best friend, the almond cow. I'm glad, Mary. Mary, Mary has talked about almond milks and nut milks in the past. We make nut milks on our show, and we use nuts and soak nuts a lot to make things like our staple recipes. So one of the cool things about our book, you guys, are the staple recipes. This is more for Isa because I think everyone on the line might already know, but we have amazing staple recipes like plant-based mozzarella. We have an amazing plant-based cheese. We have an amazing plant-based milk and plant-based bread. So you guys, I'm making the yogurt right now. I don't know if you can see, you can't see it in my oven, but there's the yogurt. And I am so excited for these staple recipes because I keep adapting them to make them even easier. So we use the nut milks and the soaked nuts from Almond Cow in a lot of our cooking here at Plant-Based Made Easy, which is great.
Homemade nut milk is so delicious.
It really is.
To me, it's like on another planet compared. And I drink the bottled nut milk too. It's good, but there's nothing like homemade.
There's nothing like homemade. Oh, I wanted to show you the page, and then I didn't even get to it. Yeah, there's really nothing like it. Here's the recipe for homemade nut milk, which is fantastic. We do a coconut and cashew milk. All right, I'm going to come back to this recipe and just kind of finish it off for you guys. You can see that what I'm doing is I'm mashing the garbanzo beans or chickpeas right into the bowl. So I'm kind of mashing everything up. That's why we used a little salt and pepper because the salt is going to really kind of extract some of the natural hydration or the natural water coming out of the celery, the scallions, and the chickpeas. And you can use a potato masher for this, but I sometimes just like using a small fork because you can really kind of get into it. And I don't mash it completely because it is a cranberry walnut salad sando. We want all of the ingredients to kind of be the same size, right? So I want to not overly mash the garbanzo beans because I want some of them to be nice and whole so that they can match the size of the celery piece, the walnut, and the cranberry. Does that make sense? You kind of eat with our eyes first. So we really want to make sure that everything is uniform. All right, so I think this looks really good. Mash it to your liking. And then now I'm going to actually add the dressing. So let me just scoop this right in. And then I'm going to fold it in. And you can see how white this dressing is. When you add water to tahini, it gets a nice pure kind of white or off-white color. It's beautiful. And now let me just fold it in. Folding in is the act of really kind of gently incorporating ingredients together. So to fold, you can really kind of just take the ingredients and you can literally kind of just fold it together. It doesn't matter if you overly mix it here. Folding is really a technical term that applies to baking more than anything else, but it works here as well, meaning we're folding instead of mashing. We've already done the mashing. We just kind of want everything to be well mixed. And already at this stage, it looks perfect. This looks like tuna. It looks like, kind of more, I guess it more looks like chicken salad sandwich, like that chunky, mayo-y, flavorful salad vibe. I'm going to show you in the overhead. It's nice and well dressed. You can see everything. It looks great. Now we just need to build our sandwich really, really simply. You can take some bread. I'm going to use 2 pieces of sprouted cinnamon raisin bread, and I get this from Ezekiel. I'm just going to show you. This is flourless sprouted bread, cinnamon raisin. I love this brand. You guys know that I do. I talk about it all the time. Why do I like it? Well, because it's sprouted and it's flourless. So meaning they're going to take wheat and barley and lentils and millet and spelt. That is what is used to make this bread. And all of these ingredients together create a complete protein. And you really can't say that about any other bread. So I really love knowing that my bread is really a complete protein. They have 3 different flavors. The cinnamon raisin is my absolute favorite. They have a sesame one, and then they have a plain or no salt. But the cinnamon raisin is really good for this sandwich. So I've toasted this. I have one really toasty side, and then I have one light side. Do you guys know maybe why I did that? I'm doing this so that I can actually place the ingredients in the dark toasted side. I do this for a reason because I want it to be super crunchy and crispy. I don't want it to get too kind of soggy. So I'm going to grab a spoon, which I have here, and I'm going to spoon it on and kind of mash it into the bread. And I'm going to do it on the dark side. This is just my kind of cool trick.
How did you get one side kind of to be darker?
I got one side because my toaster has a bagel function. And so when you turn on the bagel function, it just toasts one side. But you can do this in a toaster oven or in your oven. You can just toast one side longer than the other.
I never knew what the bagel function.
It does.
I never knew, but
it toasts the inside and it keeps the outside nice and chewy. Gives you that bagely nice taste.
Love that. I'm loving this idea of cinnamon raisin bread for lunch as well. I'm loving how you're making that working. I don't think I've ever made like a savory sandwich with a cinnamon raisin bread before, and that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, you got to get into it. The cinnamon raisin breads you can totally use for savory ways. I'm thinking of doing a cinnamon raisin stuffing this year, and it's going to be a savory stuffing for Thanksgiving, but instead of using, traditional baguette, I'm going to use cinnamon raisin bread as the Thanksgiving Day stuffing, and then I'm going to add shallots and chestnuts and other savory ingredients to it, and it's a really great blend and balance of flavors. I love using the sweet in this way.
That sounds so good. I love sweet and salty.
Yeah, I want to know, Isa, what are you doing for Thanksgiving this year? Are you doing anything festive or fun?
So we just moved from California to Florida. To be with some family. So I just got into baking. So I will be baking the rolls, and I have the turkey at my house. So I've never cooked that before, but anyway, that's what I'm kind of in charge of right now. But my mother-in-law, it's her favorite holiday. So she'll be kind of coming over and bringing everything else. We'll be outside and kind of distance, but we haven't had any kind of Thanksgiving together in a really long time. So I'm really looking forward to that. Her food's so good, and it's just like I'm really excited about the sweet potato. Like that's what I keep thinking about actually for some reason is the sweet potatoes. There's just something about that. I guess it's that sweetness like we were talking about. I love to have sweet things as part of like the actual meal, and that's probably what I've always loved about Thanksgiving and what I'm loving about this sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, sweet potatoes are the best part of the meal. That sounds really fun. I hope that it's great. And I want to know from you guys too, what are you doing this Thanksgiving? Many of us here are having our first plant-based Thanksgiving. I'm curious if everyone that's here, Natalie, Cindy, Mary, are you guys going to kind of go all out for your first plant-based Thanksgiving? Are you excited about that? What are your families saying? Will you share with us? We just had a Thanksgiving class this past Sunday and we recorded everything. So if you guys want some plant-based Thanksgiving inspiration, you can actually purchase the class and the cookbook. And it is available right now. And it's just kind of a fun opportunity to use some festive holiday, plant-based, animal-free recipes that you can use kind of anytime you want to celebrate. So check that out if you haven't. But I'd love to know, I know, Cindy, you are making a Thanksgiving meal for 12. Our friend Cindy Strong here in our community is kind of the cook of the house right now. And she has all of her family members under one roof. So my thoughts go out to you, Cindy. I hope it's all going well. Cindy was at our Thanksgiving class too. So I hope that you enjoyed the recipes. That was really fun. Tell me, what are you guys doing? All right, it says, Karen Champagne says, I'm making the menu from the Thanksgiving plant-based class all day on Friday. Yes, Karen, you're going to love it. It's super easy. And then Cindy says, yes, cooking the menu again from Sunday, but adding to it. That's great. I know it's going to be a really fun day for us, you guys. And I think this is looking really good. I just garnished my plate or my platter with some chives, right? Just to make it even more delicious. We eat with our eyes first, as they say, and it's very true. When we make food look really delicious, we crave it. We want it. We think about it, right? Like you and the sweet potatoes, Isa, you really kind of are thinking about it. You can't wait to have your sweet potatoes. So I'm just going to slice this into triangles. If you want, you can make this a closed face sando, but I'm going to keep it open face. And I'm just going to plate it up, right? Gorgeous. Look at this. Cranberry walnut salad sando, chives, scallions, cranberries, walnuts, garbanzo beans, a tahini, and delicious champagne vinegar dressing. It's really good, but I have to just make sure it's good. So I'm going to give it a little bite if you don't mind. Here we go. This is a moment of gratitude for our food. Thank you, food. Thank you, God. Oh, yeah. That's the bite right there.
Can you give some to me through the...
Seriously, I wish that you were here. This is where you were lunch. The thing that I love about this is it's easy. You guys can totally make this. And this recipe is so good. I love the cranberries. They add a nice tang. Excuse me while I wipe my nose with my towel here. They add a nice tang, but the thing I like about it is the crunch. I love the like celery crunch in this salad. It makes it fresh, not too heavy. And then the softer crunch from the walnuts. This one's really, really good. I hope that you guys try this recipe. Isa, will you try this at some point this week and let us know how it goes?
Oh, I'm definitely trying it. I'm already mentally making my shopping list because that looks delicious.
Yay. Okay, awesome.
Comment.
We have a comment from Cindy. I've been checking out ConvertKit for my business. Cindy, you should absolutely consider it. There should be no other consideration necessary. ConvertKit is gold standard. But you guys check them out. And then check out my I Am the Creator story that's coming out soon. Issa's going to write it up. I'm going to also be featured on their I Am Creator podcast. I'm very excited. Thank you so much, ConvertKit. I am so grateful that I found your platform. It is like exponentially helped me and my business so that I can help get this information in the hands of more people, which is what it's all about. So if you want to check out this story, it will be up soon enough at convertkit.com/stories. And if there are no final questions, let me just check. Fantastic. I don't see anything. I want to say thank you to you, Isa, specifically. Thanks for a great interview. This was really fun. Thanks for jumping in here with us.
Thank you for having me. And for any of you watching, if you want to comment about kind of what Chef Daniela has meant to you, I would love to know, because I might reach out to you and put that in the story as well. So let me know what this show has meant to you, what she has meant to you. I saw some amazing comments already in the show. I'd love to hear how she's inspiring you, because we're definitely inspired. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. If you guys do want to send a comment to Isa, we'll pop her email. We'll give you the email if you reach out to us for that. And we appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Isa, have a wonderful rest of your day. Tell the ConvertKit team we said thank you. We are so grateful for you. You guys keep it really calm, easy, relaxed this week. Enjoy yourselves and come back for one final episode this week. We are going to be making a Thanksgiving pizza tomorrow, which I cannot wait to show you how easy it is to do. So I'll see you then. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. And have a good one, you guys. Peace out. Bye.